Good morning. We are so excited to have you all here. I see many of you introducing yourself in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Rebecca Pierce, and I am the founder and CEO of Career Connectors. And we have just surpassed 15 years of being able to provide these services to our community. We're based in Phoenix, Arizona, but we serve people all over the nation. And so I'm glad you all are here today. And one of the things you're going to hear us talk about a lot today is networking, and especially when it comes to LinkedIn, because that's our topic today. So the way we start that is exactly what you all are doing, dropping your information in the chat. Here's the thing, a lot of people go on to online programs, trainings, anything, webinars, and they kind of just put the webinar on and let it run in the background while you're working or cleaning or doing whatever you're doing. And I get it, because that's what I do too. But I am going to challenge you all today to really engage and to connect. Make this time here that you're going to spend for the next hour and a half, 2 hours, or 2.5 hours, make it super valuable. And the way that you can do that is by engaging, talking in the chat, connecting with people. And so just like Vas and Vikas did, and Jennifer and Bob and Trisha, all of you, I encourage you to introduce yourself, of course, but also drop in your LinkedIn URL. And I'll put the instructions on how to do that. But especially because today we're talking about LinkedIn, I want to be sure you all are connecting with each other. So right now we have 77 people on the call. It'll probably get to 100 or 100 and something. That means you all can have 100 connections today in one meeting. So if everybody drops their LinkedIn URL and we all start connecting with each other, that grows your network. And the network is where the power is when it comes to not only LinkedIn, but to finding a job that you really want. Our mission is all about building better communities, and we know that that's done through people having great careers. And so if people have great jobs, then the community is better. And so we bring the resources, the content, the coaching to you. And then our mission is to help you move forward. And so I have a really good friend, her name is Christy, and she talks about, we can hire a trainer, we can go to the gym, we can hire a trainer, but the trainer can't do our push-ups for us. We have to do our own push-ups. And so that's what we're here for. We're providing the resources and the content, and then we're hoping that you will take that and move forward and be able to find something. And I also want to mention that we right now are in a sweet spot for job search. You may not feel it, you may not see it, but over the many years I've been doing this, here's what happens in election years. Election years are difficult years for job search, no doubt. So if you're feeling that, that is definitely one of the reasons why. 4 years ago, it was crazy because we were in COVID. So it was like an off year. It was nuts. Really hard year for job search, but it was for different reasons. But every 4 years prior to that, that's the trend. It's just a hard year. Companies kind of tighten up a little bit. Don't open up jobs as much. Don't replace people as quickly. So you are now in a sweet spot because the election is over. Yay. Regardless if you like the results or not, it's over. And so now we have between now and about mid-November, mid-December. So give it December 16, 17, 18, right around there. These next 6 weeks, look at me if you're not yet. Look at me. These next 6 weeks, you have to push hard. That's the reason. One, companies are going to probably, some companies are probably going to open up some recs that weren't open before. That's one. And number two, a lot of people are done job searching for the year. And so you have these next 6 weeks to push hard and connect with people. Even if it's like, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Like, connect. You might be in places you wouldn't normally be because it's holiday season, and then you can connect with people. And again, the power is in the connection when it comes to job search. We're not talking specifically about networking today, but that's where the power is in the great jobs. And so I hope you take that challenge, and you're here, you showed up, so you're still in the game. So for the next 6 weeks, take that. Hi, Trisha. Yes, I see you. Yes, we're doing it. So 6 weeks, push hard, and then rest for 3. Rest for 3. That's when you can have your reboot. It's really hard to get a hold of people at the end of the year. So 6 weeks. All right. Can I get a thumbs up from everyone that is on video? You got this, you got this, you got this for the next 6 weeks. All right. So now I'll step off my soapbox real quick and I'll go over this stuff. So some of the technical stuff here, we do a lot of conversation in the chat. So Peter, thank you for the thumbs up. Let's do that. Anyone else that's in this, drop a thumbs up. Thank you, Sharon. Aaron, drop a thumbs up. And your thumbs up, if you don't know, it's on your chat box. There's a little kind of happy face. You can find it under there. And so if you got this, do the thumbs up. Thank you. We're going to do everything through the chat box. So it's on the bottom of your screen if you're looking on a computer, and just click the chat icon, and that's how the box will show up. Also, you have control over how your display looks. For these events, the way that your display looks is going to be called a speaker view. That's going to be the best view for you. So over in the top right corner of your computer, there is a drop down and it says view. And if you click view, you will see side by side speaker. And that will give you the PowerPoint that's going to be shown. And then it will also give you the picture of the person speaking. And so that's going to be your best view today. So I encourage you to click on that. And then we have breakout rooms at the end. And our breakout rooms are really cool because you're going to be able to have a chance to talk to our speakers. So maybe you have a burning question that you didn't get to ask in the chat, or it was just more individual. So you can talk to our speakers. And also we have these amazing coaches that join our call. And some of them are already on right now. I saw Donna Tucker join us. And so she'll probably be answering questions in the chat as we go today, as well as some of our other coaches that are on the call. And everyone can just, any of our resume writers that are on the call, they're professional certified, they know what they're talking about. So when they're answering your questions, it's good stuff. You can trust that. So here is our information today. We are doing LinkedIn, your job search superpower, and Kitty Carlisle is going to go through that for us today. And then you're going to hear about Anna's story of moving from a job loss to running a business. And so one of the things, we get a lot of people on the call that ask us all the time about business ownership. Is it time? Do I want to do that? Is that an option for me? How do I do that? So we occasionally will bring in speakers to touch on that topic. And today Anna's going to do that. And so you guys are going to get to hear about one of the types of options that you have. There are multiple different, and Anna's going to talk about that, and she's fantastic. And then we're going to break out or go into some resource time that we have for you guys, some additional information, and then we'll go into our breakout rooms. So our breakout rooms will have professional resume writers, they'll have our LinkedIn coaches, we have some finance coaches, and then we also have a partnership with Best Companies AZ. And they will come in, and they have a ton of job opportunities for some of the best companies in the US. So wait for that time at 10:30 where you can jump into those breakout rooms, and then we'll be wrapped up by 11:30. Also, this event today and all of our virtual events is being recorded. And so you can, sorry about that. You can get online and watch this back. We will send the link out after this event today. And then once we send the link out, then you'll go ahead and be able to watch, I'm going to mute everyone real quick. You'll be able to watch back. So if you ever miss any of our events, you can go ahead and just jump onto our webinars replay link, and then you can watch back any of them. So I'm going to introduce Kitty. I'll also drop in the chat how to pull up your LinkedIn URL, and then Kitty will get started this morning. So I'm so excited you all are here. Right place, right time. this is the day for you. You're going to recommit. I know some of you have been going hard already, but you're going to really go hard for the next 6 weeks. And it kicks off today. And so Kitty has volunteered as a LinkedIn coach for career connectors for more than 10 years. She's known as the grammatical activist. She is a writer and an editor with over a dozen years of SEO experience who works with small business owners, entrepreneurs, and individuals, writing, editing, and optimizing their content. Whether it's social media posts, web content, LinkedIn profiles, manuscripts, or doctoral dissertations, Kitty has the experience to help translate content into impactful professional messages. Kitty has been all over the valley with us, serving people and doing our online events, and she's just a gem. You guys she is wonderful. She knows what she's talking about. So I encourage you to soak it all up and help me welcome Kitty Carlisle. You are on mute right now, Kitty. Do you see it? Let's see if I ask you to unmute. Sorry, guys, 1 second. I had to mute there.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much for that introduction, Jessica. I really am honored to be here. I love what I do with Career Connectors and helping people find jobs. So I'm even happier to be able to present today. So welcome everyone to LinkedIn, your job search superpower. In today's competitive job market, standing out is absolutely essential, and LinkedIn offers powerful tools to help you do just that. And in this presentation, we're going to be exploring how to leverage LinkedIn to enhance your professional presence by expanding your network, by engaging with industry connections, and attracting potential employers as you search for the career of your dreams. You're going to learn how LinkedIn can transform your job search into a targeted, efficient, and successful campaign. You're also going to learn a few hacks. And whether you're looking for a new career in a completely different field or simply looking for a job, mastering LinkedIn can give you a significant edge. And by using LinkedIn search features, you can transform your job search strategy into a superpower. Some people ask, though, here's the next page there. There we go. Nope, I need to go backwards.
Bree, you got her. Sorry about that, you guys.
I need to go back to, nope, back one more, sorry. There we go. I don't know what I did. User error. But some people ask, why bother to even have a LinkedIn profile? Well, LinkedIn is the #1 professional networking social media platform, but it's also rated as the most trusted social media platform. There's also more than 1 billion members in more than 200 companies in countries on LinkedIn, more than 180 million senior level influencers, 65 million decision makers on the platform. 6 million of those are in IT, and more than 67 million companies are on LinkedIn who are posting more than 15 million jobs. And that makes LinkedIn the best place you can go if you need a direct connection with key decision makers in your target market. And trust me, they are looking for you, just like I'm looking for the forward button. I'm not sure. There we go. Of the people who are applying for jobs on LinkedIn, 6 people are hired every minute. And those people who are applying on the platform, 122 million of those people received interview letters. More than 35 million people were hired by a connection. That statistic is going to come up again throughout this presentation. Jessica also hit it in the intro about, having connections and growing your network, which is why we put those URLs in the chat. But also more than 100,000 active remote job listings are posted on the platform every month. So there's a lot of opportunity there. And also keep in mind that more than 72% of recruiters use LinkedIn. So make it easier for those recruiters and hiring managers to find you by making sure your profile is complete. We have a lot of tips on how to do that on the Career Connectors website, on our YouTube page, in our previous webinars, and even on my profile in the featured section. I am having a problem advancing this.
Bree's gonna take over, Kitty.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So next slide, please. Or, sorry, you were on the correct one. There we go. So making sure that your profile is complete, and here's why it's important. You'll receive 20 times more profile views. You'll be 40 times more likely to receive opportunities on the platform. 7 times more likely to be found if you have a profile picture, which of course should be a relevant and recent picture with your face, not with a whole bunch of other people in there. And I do want to say that there's no one right way to create a LinkedIn profile. I always tell my clients that, same with a resume, actually. But these things are why it's important to have a complete profile. And as far as the all-star status, all-star profiles are actually 40 times more likely to be contacted by recruiters and 18 times more likely to show up in hiring managers' search results. No matter what you do, though, to find your next job on LinkedIn, without a complete and optimized profile, your efforts just aren't going to be as effective. I'll only dive into a few profile sections today that I want you to focus on. But trust me, I could talk about how to complete your profile for hours, and nobody wants that. And then we're also going to talk about your all-star profile, having an all-star profile, because that's just really important. Once it's complete and optimized, you'll reach that all-star status. Okay, so this open to work section is a section I get asked about a lot, and you can choose to include it on your profile. You can see where you can add up to 5 pre-selected job titles and that open to work profile frame. Remember that all those keywords there, all those job titles, they're all keywords. And so if you click on edit, so next slide. And you'd be scrolling down on that same open to work part. You'd add all this additional information like your location, start date, type of employment, all of that. Then you can choose whether you want all LinkedIn members to be able to view those details or just recruiters. Now, if you choose the recruiters only, the keywords are still there. They're just behind the scenes. Many recruiters actively search for the hashtags hiring and open to work. So keep that in mind if you want to add that into your about section, which we'll touch on the about section in a minute too. Here's a hack though. Recruiters actually prioritize new open to work settings. So you might want to consider turning off that option on the weekends and then maybe turning it back on Monday. If you do that, keep in mind that none of these filters, none of your choices are saved, but it's a very short section. It's very intuitive. It shouldn't take you long to set that back up again. Okay. And then the next slide, please. So this about section, I want you to include your email in this section. And then I'll give some reasons about that as well. But this is a prime real estate for keywords in this about section. I also want you to consider using the PAR method, which is problem, action, result, and any impactful statistics that you might have that would be in your experience sections. Basically, recruiters want to know that you're qualified for the job, that you're going to be good at it, and that you're going to get results. That's a great reason to use the PAR method. They're going to be looking at your LinkedIn profile to see what you've accomplished and how basically you've used the skills and experience that you've gained to prove that you're the candidate for the job by showing those measurable results. And then you can see under about, it says services. That's where your top 5 skills lives with those 10 services below it. And these are all keywords. Optimize, optimize, optimize. This is how you're going to get found. Next slide, please. And underneath this section is the featured section. It's directly below that. It's another really great opportunity to stand out to recruiters and hiring managers. Here's where you can also establish yourself as a thought leader. You can add keywords to each description, and there's no limit to the number of items you can include in this featured section, and you can edit or remove them at any time. It's a phenomenal place to highlight your best work, including things like articles that you've written and published on LinkedIn or elsewhere, LinkedIn posts that you've created or shared, links to external websites such as your blog or portfolio. I'll give you a tip on where else you can post things like that. Media that you've uploaded, like images, documents, presentations, videos. You can put awards up there, recent projects. Services and offers is a really great place, is a really great thing to add to your featured section. Your top voice badge, I'll get into that as well. And I do usually advise my clients not to post their resume on LinkedIn for various reasons. One, of course, is that you want to be tweaking that resume for each particular job. And if you put your resume on LinkedIn, it just sits there. You can't tweak it every single time for every different job. But also someone could copy and paste it and then just use all your information for whatever reason. But another great point is that documents are actually not searchable on LinkedIn. So you can add a description, but people would have to actually click on your resume in order to read it. So I just don't really recommend it. But if you are going to post your resume on LinkedIn in featured, it would be a good place to put that. Next slide, please. Now in this contact info, you can see where it's at the top of your profile. I want you to fill this out as much as possible. By default, LinkedIn is only going to include your really long URL, that one with all the numbers behind your name. And they'll also include your birthday if you haven't made that private, which you should, unless you're expecting someone to send you some cake for your birthday, which cake is good. But here is another place where you can put a link to your portfolio or your blog. It's a great place to include that here as well as in that featured section. Now, whatever email you use on your resume in that about section is also what you should be including here. So that should be consistent. The same email, a professional email. Please don't use something like chasingcats999@yahoo.com or AOL, okay? I've seen them. Anyway, but it should be there so that recruiters have multiple ways, avenues to find your email so that they can reach out to you. And you want them to be able to reach out to you outside of LinkedIn's InMail or messaging. Okay. Next slide, please. The biggest thing I could say on LinkedIn to do to help you get found is content creation, being active. Activity is vital on LinkedIn. But with content creation, this is the best place for you to establish yourself as an authority. You're going to be offering value to your connections through posting industry news, as well as your own insights and experiences. You can share other people's posts, which you would be tagging those relevant people or companies, which of course you should be following the companies where you want to work. Um, and then you can also pose questions and create polls to encourage engagement. All that activity is like really, really important. So all of those things I just mentioned signals that a candidate is up to date with trends and industry knowledge. And companies want to hire people that they know and trust. This is how you can make sure that they know you and they trust you. You know what you're talking about because of the content that you are posting, the comments that you are making. Okay. Also keep in mind as far as posts that LinkedIn posts with images actually get twice the number of views. So don't just, post your thoughts or whatever. Thoughts are good. Most thoughts are good. But you want to put that kind of stuff in there, but also include some kind of a relevant image. But by building your thought leadership through content creation, you position yourself as an expert in your field, and you're going to eventually be invited to answer questions regarding your industry that further position you as a thought leader and become a LinkedIn expert or top voice. Next slide, please. So, Top Voice is an invitation only program, and it features a global group of experts on LinkedIn who post and share industry related information and who LinkedIn determines are likely to be experts based on their work experience, their skills, and engagement on the platform. So, those experience and skills, nobody's going to know about them unless you've optimized your complete profile. So, keep that in mind again. The way it works is LinkedIn actually poses a question and then curates answers from those supposed experts in their field. And top voices are vetted to ensure that they meet high trust standards. We want people to trust what we're saying, that they're consistently active on the platform, and that they're sharing valuable expertise through content that demonstrates their unique, original contributions to a topic. Now, you can also request an invitation to contribute to a collaborative article, simply being active on those collaborative articles, liking, reacting, commenting, and then if you do that enough times, you'll receive an invitation. Again, I can't stress it enough. Be active. You have to be active on LinkedIn. Next slide, please. Now, I'm asked about this particular section a lot, how to address employment breaks. So if you do have employment gaps, there's a couple of things that you can do. One is to add a career break, and then you would just be in experience, click to edit the section, and then add a section, and this is what comes up. And then you can choose from a whole bunch of different reasons, that you were laid off or that you became a caregiver. There's a whole list there. And then if you were to scroll down, you'll see at the bottom it says description. You just want to set it up as though it were a job, whatever it was you were doing during that break, using keywords. Don't forget to include skills, because unless you're actually just sitting on the couch watching Netflix until Netflix says, hey, you're done with everything that's on Netflix, you're doing something, you're using some kind of skills. Okay. And then next slide, please. Another thing that you can actually do is include a placeholder position. They're very similar. But in that title box, you can see where you can type the job that you want with keywords. Keywords are key. That's the optimization. And you can see where the company name includes basically the industries of interest. And then again, if you were to scroll down to the description box, what you want to do here is type what you do really well as what you're doing now. And so that can include volunteer work, if you've gone back to school, if you're going through training or certification to grow your skills and advance your career, and what you want to do next. So you would include all of that in there using those keywords. What you're going to be doing with these two things, the placeholder as well as the employment gaps, is creating a work history that focuses on quantifiable achievements relevant to the role that you want. And focus on your skills and accomplishments, not just your tasks. Okay. And this is what that could look like. Next slide, please. You can see where the first statement could even be your tagline. You know, cybersecurity specialist, protecting your data from cyber attacks and the dark web, because it gives your title and the value. But you can also see in this description where they're talking about, you know, I'm a technology professional, they're using keywords, I'm open to discussing part-time or contract roles. And then even in the volunteer section, what they're doing, they're volunteering in the same industry where they want to work. So that is something that if you were to fill that placeholder part out, this is what that could look like. Next slide, please. And then 73% of recruiters say that they base their hiring decisions on the skills that you have listed on your profile. So consider taking a skills-based approach to your LinkedIn profile. Don't just list accomplishments. Accomplishments are important, including those statistics, but that can look like this. So like developed a strict schedule for ordering multiple parts, designing prototypes, and completing projects on time and under budget. These are just different examples. But you'd want to be highlighting rather the skills that you had at all previous jobs that are going to help you get the job or career that you want. And you can break each role into like 3 to 5 impactful accomplishments using industry specific keywords. You want to be creating impactful bullet points using that PAR method, the problem, action, result. Okay. Next slide, please. And some of those skills, I want you to use really strong verbs. And don't forget the correct tense. Every time I edit someone's LinkedIn profile, this is where I find the most errors. If you don't work there anymore, it's in past tense. So consider that, you know, if it's present tense or past tense, it seems like a simple thing, but it does stand out. And this is also another place where you can include those statistics in those in that experience section, of course. But you can see where these words help convey leadership and problem solving, initiative, making your achievements stand out. So I want you to use really strong action words, okay, when you're writing your experience section. Next slide, please. I also want to jump into groups and let you know that groups are a really great place to network with like-minded professionals and key industry figures. So consider joining industry-related groups and join groups whose members work where you want to work. And to do that, all you have to do is search profiles of people who have the job that you want and look for groups that they might be in. That, of course, is at the very, very bottom of everyone's profile. But consider that your groups can be a reflection of your priorities. So if you're trying to transition from, let's say, sales into a career in financial analysis, let's say, you might want to consider dropping out of sales related groups and join groups related to finance and accounting, or at least not be as active in those groups. This shows that you're serious about the career change, and it also helps your networking efforts. But when you're in those groups, here's where the activity comes in again. I want you to be commenting on posts that are in those groups, initiating discussions, posing questions, asking for feedback on jobs or skills, training, share your own expertise. Sharing company information, if someone's asking about a particular company, if you've heard about certain jobs, you can always add that in there. What you're doing in groups is offering value to the other members. You can also invite some of those members to other valuable groups that you might be in case they are interested. And as far as connecting with people in groups or out of groups, you can send 20 to 25 connection requests every day and around 100 to 200 weekly. You can personalize up to 200 characters in 5 to 10 invitations per month. It really depends on your membership type. And a hack I want to give you in here in groups is this weekly connection limit does not apply to group members and event attendees. So you can actually send 50 to 100 more requests every week before hitting your limit by using the LinkedIn mobile app. So if you're on your desktop, you're a lot more limited. But if you're on your phone or, an iPad or something like that, you can actually add to your network even more. Okay. And another hack that I'm going to show you next here is I'm going to show you how that you can message those group members without needing to use InMail. And in order to find members so you can actually build a relationship with them, because you don't want to just be adding numbers, adding numbers, adding numbers. You want to have those relationships. So to strategically grow your network, as well as to reach out for to hiring managers, you would go to any of your groups or all of them, but go to show all. Next slide, please. And then here's how you can message without needing to use InMail. So in other words, you can message them for free. No matter what degree connection they are, you can see where it's second or third degree. You can still message people if they're in the same group and it doesn't cost you anything. Next slide, please. There you go. And you can also do something similar if you're following the school that you attended and you want to connect with other alumni. So you would just go to the alumni, that tab on the school's page. You can see also, of course, that you can also search for jobs if they've posted any, but click on alumni. And then here's where you can just search for where those alumni work, in which department, other ways that they've connected. And then, of course, check to see if you're in the same alumni or industry group to message them directly for free. Next slide, please. And then you can also message LinkedIn members for free if an event is hosted on LinkedIn. And once you're registered, you'll get something that looks like this. And then you would just click on the networking tab there, and it'll bring up a list of attendees. And you can see that you can, it gives me a couple of different ways basically to view attendees by the same industry. But you can also see where on this particular page anyway, they might have their profile set so you can only follow them. So I always encourage you to go directly to their profile and then click on that see more button, and it should have a connect button on there if you wanted to connect with them through there. But if you were to scroll down, so next slide, please, you can also see their location, as well as the entire list of attendees. However, keep this in mind with any of these three avenues, groups, alumni, events, your messages are probably going to land in the message request section rather than in the main inbox section. It doesn't mean that those members aren't going to see those messages, just that they won't necessarily receive a message notification. So I definitely encourage everyone, not right now, because what I have to say is important. But when we're done today, go into your messages and look under that unread tab or look through all of your messages to see if there are messages in there from people that maybe you just never noticed. But no matter how you reach out to other LinkedIn members, always remember to personalize your invitation to connect if possible. Remember, they've limited it. It used to be unlimited, but LinkedIn changes all the time. And again, more than 35 million people were hired by a connection. So it's really important to grow your network. Next slide, please. And every job seeker goes into the job search with the goal of getting a job. But of course, only one person can get that job. And it's not the goal that separated them, it's the system they used to prepare that did. So if you're using the same goal, to get a job, we need to look at the process. So let's take a look at how the process you use in your job search can increase your odds of landing the perfect job or career for you. So you want to leverage LinkedIn search features. You can use LinkedIn's job search function and apply directly through the platform, filtering by location, industry, company. LinkedIn actually searches for related keywords and hashtags as well. And also note the specific keywords and phrases that are used in job descriptions. So it could be something like growth hacking or data-driven marketing. But all of these things give you even more opportunities to network with recruiters and potential employers and other people who are in the roles or working at the companies where you want to work. And we're going to look into a little bit more of how to search using a Boolean search and different ways that you can do that to search for the job that you want. Okay, next slide, please. So you're probably already doing this, but once a day or so, go to that jobs tab that's at the top of your LinkedIn profile and add your target job title or company name. The results, as you can see, are based on your profile and your search history. You can also search for those keywords like I mentioned, but also like unlisted or confidential or exclusive, which might be in the job descriptions. Next slide, please. And then once you choose a job, you can either apply right away with that easy apply button. And that, of course, uses your LinkedIn profile to apply for the job. If it doesn't say the easy apply, then it usually takes you to that company's, nope, I'm still on that one. Sorry, there you go. You can either apply right away using that easy apply, but if it might take you to their company website, or of course you can save that job to apply later. But what I want you to do when you're in here is to scroll down to where it shows responsibilities and qualifications that are included on all those job descriptions. They could call them something else, but it's the same idea. But I want you to make sure that those skills are included on your profile. And when you're looking at jobs, it might even list the skills missing on your profile, or it might say something like, you have 7 out of 10 of the skills that are listed. So just keep that in mind, because what I want you to do is think of that about this position section of these jobs as a cheat sheet. It's telling you everything you need to know in order to get that job, okay? And also keep in mind that many people list the job post lists ideal qualifications, not necessarily strict requirements. So don't allow self-doubt to hold you back. Apply for jobs. Even if you don't meet 100% of the listed qualifications, you're going to be highlighting your ability to learn and adapt. Next slide, please. Then I want you to reach out to the person who posted the job to let them know that you've applied. It's either going to have people you can reach out to or meet the hiring team, or it's going to list the person who posted the job, but it also could not be included. And then you can do a search for a recruiter at that company. Next slide, please. Also keep in mind that LinkedIn penalizes you for not responding to recruiter messages. So if you're receiving messages from recruiters for jobs that you're not interested in, you should still respond and just say something like, Thanks for reaching out. And then, of course, you can also connect with them. But this is the type of job I'm looking for, and just give them like 3 bullet points or so. Okay. Next slide, please. And then once you've found the job that you want, you can set a job alert so that you're going to receive notifications as soon as those types of jobs are posted on LinkedIn. I didn't enter any filters for this specific example, but at the top here, of course, is where you can do that. I always suggest all filters because it gives you the most options. And then you would just toggle that set alert to on to create the job alert for the search criteria that you've entered. And then you're going to see a pop-up that says job alert created, and another small pop-up that says manage alerts, which allows you to select how often you'd like to receive those alerts and how you'd like to be notified, like daily, weekly, monthly, or via email or LinkedIn notification. And then click done. It's very simple. But applying only through that jobs tab is what most people do. And as the saying goes, average actions lead to average results. Because if it's something that's easy for you to do, it's just as easy for everyone else to do too. Next slide, please. So let's try a different approach. In that search bar, I want you to do a Boolean search. So type something like this into the search bar: project manager and, which should be capitalized, hiring. But also the job title could be different at different companies. So just use Google or AI to find something different. So it might say project coordinator or project leader or operations manager. And then you would just put or, so project manager and hiring, but you could also do project manager or project coordinator and hiring, something like that. I'll give you some examples in a second here. It's the same with like bookkeeper or accountant, even if it might be slightly different, some companies just use the same title. But you're going to see results on the left there that show posts, people, and jobs. But using these operators and or, it finds any mention of the keyword anywhere on the profile. Recruiters actually use Boolean searches and look for very specific skills, like systems administrator for Linux, not the more generic support technician. Next slide, please. So you can see here some examples. Using quotation marks and parentheses tells LinkedIn's search engine how and what to search. So this is how you build on those operators to structure very specific searches. The quotation marks retrieves phrases. The asterisk retrieves variations of a word. So you can see on that second bullet point where it says develop. So it's going to pull up anything that starts with that word. So it could be developer, development, developmental, whatever that root word is. And then, of course, those parentheses, I knew I was going to forget that word, separates concepts. If you have a LinkedIn Basic, so the free LinkedIn platform, LinkedIn does limit you from seeing results if that gets too long, but it still allows you to do some pretty extensive searches. Next slide, please. So these particular operators, site, location, company, these allow you to search for a specific website, people in certain areas and from specific companies, as well as current students and alumni of certain schools. And the results in people post jobs, that's where the results are going to be. Next slide, please. So back in that job search, open roles are often published as standard LinkedIn posts, not necessarily on official job board postings. So they'd be posted by connections in your network on LinkedIn, looking for referrals from their connections. I often see these in notifications. You don't even have to be in someone's network to see their posts if you've searched in this way. So you can see second and third degree connections. All you have to do is search LinkedIn for phrases that someone looking for, let's say, a graphic designer role might use to describe the open role. So it might say, we're hiring a graphic designer. You can search for that phrase. And if they've used that verbiage, then those results are going to come up. And then you can see where you can filter by posts, from my network, past 24 hours, past week, just to see who is looking for you. And then still on this slide though, Bree, but if you scroll down and look for the people who have recruiter or hiring manager in their job title, so you can see that first one has I'm hiring frame on their profile picture, just like the open to work would be on there. As well as those people who just started at their job. And then leave a meaningful comment on like 3 to 5 posts every day for a couple weeks, and you'll be surprised at the traction that you're going to see on your profile. And when you notice people show up in your feed posting about how they just got hired somewhere, you often see these in your notifications as well. Leave a meaningful comment on their post, not just the congratulations that most people comment, but excuse me, but you could ask for like one tip that helped them land that job, or if they have a tip that they can share about the interview process with Apple, you'd be tagging the company, whatever that company is. Then you're going to be standing out because you've tagged not only the original poster, but the company as well. And the recruiters notice that. And if one of your connections like shares one of their contacts posts, make sure you're also commenting on that original post. And you can also send that person a personalized connection request as well. Next slide, please. And if you scroll down to view the people who have posted those keywords in those job descriptions, as well as the jobs posted by companies, you can use those companies filter and add each of your target companies to get those results. You would be scrolling through those post people company and find the opportunities that fit your interest. Of course, apply to the job by sending a message, emailing the person directly who made the post. And of course, always following the application instructions that the original poster included. That's very important because you're following directions. Next slide, please. So while you're in that people section, though, what I want you to do is click on all filters, which takes you here. And then you would select the company where you want to work. So under current company, and then under past company, add the name of your current company if you're still working, or your previous company. And when you click on show results, it gives you a list of people who made the jump from that prior company or your current company to your target company. And then you can message them or connect with them and ask for any tips that might help you land a job there. And ask for a referral if you're connected. Next slide, please. And so when you're looking at jobs, obviously see if any of your connections work there. You can send them a message asking for a referral. Referrals can advocate for you and guide you by giving you inside information. Just don't approach with a me mindset. In other words, don't reach out asking for the job or for generic advice. They might know who you could send your resume to, though. Remember, again, more than 35 million people were hired via connection. Next slide, please. And here's a hack a lot of people don't know about. Let recruiters know that you're interested in the company that they work for by going to the company's page that they work for. Most people just go to that jobs tab, but go to about, and then you scroll down to where it says, I'm interested. That actually shares your LinkedIn profile with the company and adds it to their recruiter's database. It expires after a year, so just keep that in mind. And the company has to have enabled this feature. So if it's not there now, it might be there next week. So you can just keep checking back. Next slide, please. I've already mentioned the ways that you can connect and engage with employers and recruiters, as well as employees at the companies where you want to work. So what I want you to do when you're reaching out is create a connection story that briefly explains why you want to work for the company. Like, here's why I love this type of work, or here's why I love your company. Express enthusiasm. Of course, that in-mail messaging is a premium feature, but it does allow you to directly message another LinkedIn member that you're not connected to. But remember, there is a way to message those people for free. Engagement, following up. Don't just connect, continue to build those relationships. Next slide, please. Also, know your value proposition. Your value proposition communicates the unique benefits and value that you as a job candidate offer to your target company. If we want to be the candidate who provides the most value, then we need to understand what is valuable to our contacts and to the company. So directly address the roles, challenges, goals, and initiatives, then align yourself to those, making sure, of course, that your profile is aligned to those, and clearly communicate your value to the company. There's really no interpretive dance when it comes to this stuff. So be very clear. One of my value propositions as a LinkedIn professional, with my work at a digital marketing agency as a content manager, um, we actually then, once I had a discussion with the company's owner, we started offering LinkedIn audits to our small business clients. So I created webinars and training, and then even audited entire companies' LinkedIn profile. So you just never know what's going to differentiate you from your competition. And then next slide, please. So hopefully you've been able to see that LinkedIn, leveraging LinkedIn's search capabilities can significantly ease the job search process and optimize your job search strategy once your profile is complete and optimized. So allow the platform to be your superpower. So I want you to be consistent, optimize, make sure everything's relevant. That includes your job title, headline, banner, your headshot. LinkedIn actually prioritizes showing recruiters users who have made edits to their profile. So keep that in mind. Be active. I've talked a lot about that. Your chances of being seen are greater. Your chances of learning about and finding jobs is greater. And those relationships, not just when you need a job or you're asking for a recommendation. Recruiters look for mentions of soft skills as well. So, like being good with customers or having a good work ethic. So, make sure to include that type of information in your recommendations that you're asking for, or your in your profile, in the experience and about. You have to be able to do the job, but these recruiters also want to know what it's really like to work with you. Next slide, please. So I want to thank everyone for being here and going through this presentation with me. I hope you've learned a lot. These are ways that you can connect with me and follow me. Obviously, the QR code takes you to my website, so you can learn a little bit more about me. Plus, of course, I'll be in a breakout room at the end of all the presentations, and I am so happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kitty. We appreciate the comments there, or we appreciate you. There's a ton of comments just thanking you for this content. I have a couple questions I'd like to follow up with you real quick. One that kept being asked in the comments or in the chat was people wondering if they should be applying, if they see a job on the LinkedIn Easy Apply button option, if they should apply there or they should take it off, jump over to the company website and apply direct. Do you have any guidance there?
What I can say about that is there's nothing that says you can't do it in both places, but sometimes when you do it when you apply through Easy Apply, and then you go to the company's website, it might tell you that you've already applied. So it depends on how the company has it set up. But if you do both or either or, always still try to at least message the person who posted the job if you can, or find out who the recruiter is or the hiring manager is at the company, so that you can message them to let them know that you have applied. And if you're available for any questions or, follow-up information that they might need. So I've found it depends on the way the company sets it up.
Okay, good. And then something I wanted to mention is quite a few people that dropped their LinkedIn URL today. And this happens regularly, but when we go to connect with them, they're locked down in security. And so we can't connect with you if you have your privacy settings set. Can you tell us real quick where to fix that?
Yeah, I have actually looked into that, and the only thing that I've come up with is their privacy settings. So in other words, if they have their privacy setting so that e- all LinkedIn members can view their whole profile, then that shouldn't be there. So you might have to just go into your privacy settings and see if maybe you have where only your contacts, only your connections can see your profile. That means that other people aren't going to be able to reach out to you unless they have your email or at all. So it's in the privacy settings, but and that can be a little tricky because sometimes people don't want it open to everyone, or they don't want it open because you can put it to public so that anybody can even Google you and find you. But you can also set it for all LinkedIn members, and really that's what you should be doing. But it is a personal choice, and I totally understand the reasoning behind people keeping it a little bit locked down. Just be aware you're probably not going to be able to grow your network as much if your privacy settings are set that way.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. I learned many years ago for LinkedIn specifically to open it up because it is a professional platform. And I also love now LinkedIn sends the like sales messages, spammy type messages to other. So you actually see the messages for people you're connected with. So I really like being open, and I've never had an issue on LinkedIn. And it's my #1 social media platform. So I think it's a great idea to keep it open. So thank you, Kitty, for that. And then I just want to encourage everybody again to drop in their LinkedIn profile onto the chat. And you feel free to drop it in one more time in case people missed it as well. And I dropped in the instructions on how to do that in the chat. And another thing I heard, and Kitty mentioned this a couple different times, but figure out the ways that you can be an expert on the platform. And so she gave you a ton of ideas on doing that. And one that I always hear is make one comment, one post, and one like every single day. And that is like a 5-minute deal. So you don't have to feel overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, I have to be on LinkedIn for 3 hours and doing all of this. But just, a like, a post, a comment every day will help build that confidence in you, and then also show your expertise. And I just dropped into the chat for any of you that use ChatGPT or any kind of AI programs. I encourage you to do that. If you're not, by the way, that's another topic for another day. But you can actually copy and paste your resume into ChatGPT, and then you can prompt ChatGPT to say, can you give me 10 ideas on social media posts to show I'm an expert? And it will give you ideas, and you'll be like, oh yeah, I know about that, or I know about that. And then you can make a post. So anyway, that's just another tip. But Kitty, thank you for this wonderful, valuable information. Can we all give like a virtual applause for Kitty? Thank you. We so appreciate you. Kitty will be here during the breakout session. So if you had other individual questions, feel free to jump over into her breakout room in a few minutes. Also, now that she's done, she'll jump on the chat and scroll through and try and answer some of the questions that were answered yet. And thank you, Donna Tucker, for responding to some of these LinkedIn questions as well. All right, we're going to move over now to Anna Schulman-Brambilla, and she has more than 20 years experience in the field of career transition. She's been a career coach, recruiter, outplacement consultant, and a relocation expert. And before that, she was in corporate finance and software project management. She has an MBA in finance and management from the University of San Diego and a BA in management economics from Simmons College in Boston. But in 2017, she was looking for something different, and she happened to attend a workshop on franchise options. She really liked the concept, and so she actually ended up buying her own franchise license with the Entrepreneur Source. And then she has been helping professionals discover options outside of the traditional career path since then. And through her career, she's been focused on helping people get the job and life they loved. And one of her favorite things to do is to be a matchmaker between people and resources. You guys, I've known Anna for a couple years now. She's an excellent listener. She really helps people understand if this is the path that they should go on or not. She, as a career ownership coach, she really works hard to understand people she's working with. And since she's become a franchise owner in 2017, she's helped hundreds of clients explore those options. And so I am excited to have her here today to talk about maybe you're thinking about business ownership and this might be an option for you. So please help me welcome Anna Brambilla. Yay.
Hi, thanks everyone. Just make sure I don't run out of time. When should I end? How much time do I have?
25 after.
25 after. Okay. Just make a note of that so that I can make sure that I give you lots of great information. We need to update the slide. I've actually been franchising for more than 7 years. It's hard to believe I just passed my 7th anniversary. So glad to have all of you here, and I love that job loss to franchise boss, and I think that's a wonderful. I'm gonna have to use that myself. Um, as Jessica mentioned, I have been more than 20 years in the field of career transition. Started back in the day as an outplacement coach and have been did that for a number of years, moved into recruiting, did that for a number of years, and just love that field. About 7 years ago, 7.5 years ago, just could not deal with bosses anymore. I'm done. I don't want to be told what to do. I don't want to be not to be the flavor of the month. Don't want to be working insane hours, making somebody else rich, essentially. So I ended up transitioning, attended a workshop, as Jessica mentioned, on franchise options and said, oh, I like this. And looked at a bunch of different franchises and spoiler alert, ended up with the Entrepreneur Source. And I've been doing this now for more than 7 years and love what I do. I'm also going to have to update. I've helped thousands of clients explore franchise options simply as an option. So let me tell you some stories. I don't know about you, but these are some of the things that I hear on a regular basis. There's a beam of light from the shades coming in and hitting me, so I'm trying to avoid that. How many of you have been laid off and had no idea it was coming? Anybody? Handful? Yep, I'm seeing some hands. Absolutely. Had no idea it was coming. Yes, thank you. Sorry to hear that. It's not unusual. I've had lots of clients come to me. I had a client recently who came to me. I was here until midnight for this company and I got laid off. I was here for 20 years, got nothing but rave reviews, got laid off. Another client was groomed for a promotion several times. She was just telling me this yesterday. Got groomed for a promotion, groomed for a promotion. It never happened. And then they finally laid him off. I've had people who have had a different boss every few months. There's for reorgs or whatever, people get laid off, people leave every few months. And you guys all know when you've got a new boss, you have to learn their systems, you have to learn their style, you have to learn everything. They get whiplash. I've had situations where people are working insane hours. My own family, my husband, for example, had a project a couple of years ago where he was literally working every single day, not just not just weekdays, every single day, nights, weekends, everything, holidays, between October and May. He did take New Year's Day off and he took Christmas Day off, but that was it. He was pulling all-nighters, the end of which he had to practically threaten to sue his bosses for giving him the bonus, a $10,000 bonus that he was promised. I hear this all the time. I had another client who says, I am so sick of my bosses flying in private jets while I'm flying in coach. I've heard these stories all the time. And it's frustrating and it's scary and it's annoying. So I hear you when you say, what else is out there? What else can I explore? What else is possible for me? And that's what I'm here to explain. Let me tell you some other stories about clients. And let me step back for a second and just tell you all my role, if you can see me, I've got a sign above my head that says, "Welcome to the safe zone." And I take that so at heart. There's a reason why it's above my head on every Zoom call that I do. My role is to help you explore your options. That's all. Let's explore business ownership. Let's explore franchising. If you have any of the stories that I just told you resonate with you, let's explore and see what's possible. So my role is to help you to get clear on what's important for you. What are you trying to achieve? What are your short-term goals? What are your long-term goals? And then we do that through a series of worksheets. We use the disc. I know Jessica and Career Connectors provide the disc, which is a wonderful document to help you just get to know yourself better. We use other worksheets, and it's just a series of questions trying to help you figure out what's best for you. Once I have a sense of you, then I can go to my database. We've got 250, more than 250 franchises in 35 different industries. Most people think franchising and they think McDonald's and they think Subway. I get it. Those are the most common options. In our portfolio of franchises, only 4% have anything to do with food. So we've got franchises in kids, seniors, pets, fitness, travel, home improvement, home restoration, business services. So we've got a lot of variety. The thing to remember is that I'm on your side of the table at all times, helping you figure out what's best for you. So I just want to make sure that that's very, very clear. Let me tell you about a couple of clients that I consider, and I'm not keeping an eye on the chat. So Jessica, please let me know if there's anything in chat that I need to be aware of. Let me tell you about some of my clients. I had one client who was in corporate real estate, commercial real estate, excuse me, in Chicago. And for those of you in commercial real estate know how incredibly competitive it is and how difficult it is. And he's like, there's got to be a better way. And plus, his wife really wanted to move, as it turns out, to Phoenix. And so he and his wife looked at a variety of franchises, compared and contrasted, and found a phenomenal one where he's opened a sign making franchise there in Scottsdale. Is so happy because it accomplished two goals for him. He was already used to being his sole proprietor, because when you're in commercial real estate, you are essentially, you own your own business. But he wanted something with more consistency. He wanted something where he was making more of a difference for the business community, and he wanted to move to Phoenix, and so he was able to accomplish that. I have another client who was sick of having awful, awful, awful bosses. And we've all had those horror stories. I'm sure you all have them. I have them. And he was sick. It's like, I can't deal with this anymore. I want to be the boss I never had. And so we looked at a variety of different franchises, and he found a landscaping franchise up in Portland and is phenomenal. He's building a team in his image. He gets to be the boss that he never had, and he is thrilled and doing so, so well there. I had another client who's like, I could retire, but I'm bored, or I tried it. I've had several clients say, I tried it for about a month and I was bored, and my wife was ready to kick me out of the house, or my spouse was ready to kick me out of the house because all I was doing was driving them nuts. We've got lots of franchises that can be done on a part-time basis, or that can be done that aren't going to require insane a number of hours and uh, experience and things like that. I've had clients who say, looking at their retirement and saying, I'm not going to get there. I have a certain number and I'm not going to get there working for myself. So they said, let me look at business ownership and explore that and see what is going, what business will help me get there, get me to my goals, my retirement goals. I had a client recently who said, I want to have a business where it's my grandkids' first job. So let me have that. Let me find something that where I can offer jobs to my grandkids. We have situations like that. Um, we have clients that say, I missed my kids growing up, or I'm worried about missing my kids growing up. I want to be able to have more control over my time, my money, my travel, my life. And so they look into franchising as an option. I've had clients who uh, we're looking for. I have a lot of clients that say, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I know what I don't want, but I don't know what I want. And that's something that I work really closely with. So let me give you a little insight into how I work. What are some of the benefits of franchising, and what are some of what are some of the downsides of franchising? I dare say that franchising and business ownership is not right for most of you. And that's wonderful. This may not be the right path for you. And that's terrific. I would still love to work with you because I still think that you can gain some benefit, some knowledge, some understanding. I'm fifth generation educator. So my mother was a teacher, my grandfather was a teacher, my great great grandmother and great grand, and so on and so forth. You get the idea. So I consider myself an educator. I want to work with you to explore options you never knew existed. That's my role. That's my personality. That's what I am. One thing to know, a lot of people say, okay, well, how much do you cost to work with? Well, here's the news. I don't cost a penny for you. You can work with me for free. Absolutely no charge. Not just you guys. I mean, I love career connectors. I want to make a special offer to career connectors, but to everybody that I work with, there's no charge to working with me. I get paid if you happen to end up in a franchise. Again, I am completely detached from the outcome. I tell my clients, I don't care. I don't care if you end up in a franchise. I care deeply that you learn something and explore and know about options you probably never knew existed. So that's my role. Let me tell you a little bit more about the franchises in our system. We have 250 franchises, more than that, as I mentioned earlier. Only 4% have anything to do with food. So that means whatever 96% of 250 plus is, that's what we have. So a variety of options. Most people think franchising and they know that Subway and McDonald's cost millions and millions of dollars. And if you don't have cash on the table, have a nice life. Absolutely. Those things exist, not in my portfolio. In our portfolio of franchises, the vast majority are in the low six figures, and that's everything you'll need the first year to get up and running. Low six figures, not nothing. I don't know a lot of people who have an extra 100K, 200K in their back pocket. I'm trying to figure out what to do with it, but certainly considerably less than the millions of dollars that a lot of franchises cost. Um, those franchises, by the way, we've got funding resources. We've got a lot of great funding resources for those of you for whom this is the right fit. The funding resources include using your 401k without paying taxes, penalties, or interest, small business administration loans, and we've got other options. The only people I can't get funded and the only people who shouldn't consider franchising as an option are those with poor credit, have no income, don't have any assets, don't have their own home, don't own a 401k. Those are the people, frankly, I would encourage you to get a job because to be a successful franchise owner requires four characteristics. First of all, you have to be willing to follow the model. They're not dictatorial, they're not dogmatic, they're not very narrow, but you have to be willing to follow the proven recipe. That's important. The next thing you need to do is you need to have the right attitude and be coachable. I put those two things together. You have to be coachable. You have to have the right attitude that you will be successful. And then finally, you need to be able to invest in the franchise. It's a business, it's a startup, and it's scary to put some money into it. But the clients that say to me, I can't spend money until I make money in a franchise, ultimately are not successful or take much longer to be successful. I will put my contact information again, and you'll see that I have a link to a Career Connectors interview that I did with Jessica a couple of years ago, and it's wonderful. It's one of my favorite interviews. And so I've put that in there. Schedule a call, spend 15 minutes getting on my calendar, just trying to learn some more, do some research, connect with me on LinkedIn. Would love to connect with all of you. Connect with me on LinkedIn and take a look at my profile, take a look at my recommendations. I can tell you that in working together, I can guarantee very few things in life, but one thing I can guarantee is that you will learn about options you never knew existed. That's my one and only guarantee. I can guarantee that you will now know that you have multiple paths to getting to where you want to be, which is terrific. I can guarantee you that you won't, well, I was going to say, I can guarantee you're going to get information about the funding and about the finances. It's going to take a little time. Franchising as an option is very regulated, which I think is a great thing by the Federal Trade Commission. So that if I tell you something or one of the franchisors that I introduce you tells you something, then you know you can take that to the bank. Can guarantee you that it will open your eyes. I also can guarantee you, if you're looking for a job, I will practically beg you, keep looking for a job because it's very important to keep multiple options open. Maybe franchising's right for you. Maybe it's not. I don't care. I do care about you and helping you learn and explore and discover what's best for you. And with that, I think I'm almost at time. So I'll be in the breakout room. Love to connect with all of you. Get on my calendar, schedule a 15-minute. Just make sure if it says that you put reasons for a meeting or how may I help you, put Career Connectors so I know where I found you. And that's it.
Awesome, Anna. Thank you so much for being here and
Thanks.
telling us about this opportunity. I've heard this presentation a couple times, and I love the stories of people that do go into this and do something different. I'm a strong advocate for business ownership, obviously, but people get their different ways. And so thank you so much. We appreciate you. And Anna will be available in a few minutes in the breakout sessions. All right, you guys, I want to go over a couple resources real quick, and then we'll get you moving into the breakout sessions. And so first of all, we would love any feedback you have for us. So Wendy, I believe, or Bree is going to drop a link into the chat that has a survey. So if you could click on that link, go fill that out. That information is really, really helpful for us because as we pursue grants, then we utilize that data to get grants. And that is why this program and all our services are at no cost, is because we're able to cover it through various donations and grants. And so thank you for filling that out. Just click on that link and it'll just take you a minute. It'll take you into a different browser. All right, a couple of the resources we have. Even Anna mentioned this. We have a DISC assessment. That is a behavioral assessment that's free to you. So you're going to get an email, and on this email is going to be all of these resources as well. So you don't have to write them down if you don't want right now, but these are on our website under the resources tab. And so you can go over there and find the DISC assessment. It's great because it will provide information about you that you might not have thought about, like your ideal work environment, your best traits, your strengths, things like that. And often you can use those during your interview or as you're even thinking about your next job. I know some of you here today are going, I have been doing this thing for 20 years, for 30 years. And I don't want to do this thing anymore. I want to do something else. And I don't even know maybe what that is yet. So that assessments like that can be helpful as you're trying to figure that out. And then of course, you can check out our recording. This webinar will be posted later today. Usually it's by the end of the day. It just takes some time to download. And so that link will take you there. You can also find it on our website under event recordings or webinars. Then we're also on social media. So please connect with us specifically on LinkedIn. In fact, I think what I'm going to do real quick is I am going to drop in our link to our Career Connectors LinkedIn group. And if you are not on that, please, if you could take time to click on that link and join our group. There is a lot of, sometimes we get companies posting jobs in there. There's content, there's information from our various community partners that we post in there as resources to you guys. So go ahead and join that group. And I just want to thank our partners. We have some great partners that help us make this program happen. And we appreciate you and thank you so much. And of course, one of them being the Entrepreneur Source. Then I want to mention Best Companies AZ specifically as well. So Best Companies AZ, and I believe Jenna is going to be in the breakout sessions today. But Best Companies AZ is a company that oversees or helps companies that win awards. So they win awards like Best Places to Work. Hi, Jenna. She just dropped in the chat. Best Most Admired Companies. They have diversity awards, best place to work for women. So all companies can apply for all these different types of jobs, or I'm sorry, all these different types of awards. And then Best Companies AZ will help them promote their awards, connect with candidates. So Bree, if you could go over to the slides that talks about the awards. You guys will see some of that stuff. And then there's a whole bunch of the companies as well as they represent companies like Axon, Rocket Companies, Honor Health, and so on. So lots of great companies. And Jenna can help address some of those questions. I know there's a lot of remote options. And she dropped in a link where you can also subscribe to their newsletter. So thanks, Jenna, for being here. And if you have any questions about that, she would love to chat with you in the breakout room. And then we also have a partnership with LearnKey. They're an online training portal, and they have various different education and training options, especially if you are looking to go into something new, some type of new career, or you're like, hey, this is my career, but I feel like I'm missing this one thing. They have both soft kind of essential skills, and then they also have different certifications like, project management or technical training, those kind of things. Very low cost, super affordable. They also provide 2 courses for free. So they have a cybersecurity program available for you, access to this workshop or training, and then they have something for building trust and credibility. So those are free to you. And we'll go ahead and drop the link in, but also it will be on your email if you would like to attend one of those trainings at no cost. You guys, we still have some events coming up this year. And so again, I said, please, I challenge you, take the next 6 weeks to go hard. And by that, we mean networking, updating your resume for jobs, really focusing on the kind of companies you want to work with. If you haven't created a list of 20 companies yet that you want to work for, do that. So show up November 13th. If you're in the Phoenix area, we have a career event happening November 13th, and it's a good one. So, I mean, I like all of our stuff, but this one has a lot of companies. We have 40 companies that are going to be at this event that we have booked. And the first hour is specifically for students. And so any graduating students, high school or college or certification training students are invited to the 2 o'clock hour. And then from 3 to 5, it's open to the public. And so I encourage you, show up if you are in the Phoenix area to this event, because it will give you practice on connecting with companies. It will get you in front of companies and you'll be able to talk to them. And yes, Angelica, you should be bringing your resumes to those events. Oftentimes they'll say apply online, but for you to be able to hand them one, many of them also take a stack of them home and will look through them and follow up. So I always encourage to do that. Yes, Gabriel, a doctorate student would qualify for the student hour from 2 to 3. Absolutely. So you can register for any of this right on our website. Also on the email that you get, you can register for it. Again, all this is free. And then December 5th is where the jobs are. So we have invited a wonderful speaker, Brad Turner Little. He is going to be speaking. He is the president of what's called WIOA, which is a federal association. That WIOA is the Workforce Investment and Opportunity Act, which is where all the funding goes from the federal government down to the states on helping people find jobs. So like a whole bunch of grant money, but all the federal money goes through this organization. So he is very connected into where all the jobs are nationally. He's going to be our keynote speaker on December 5th. And then I'm going to, after he speaks, I'm going to do a talk about putting together your 2025 job search plan. So if you are still looking on December 5th, come to that event. It's going to be a great one to close out the year. And then Job Search 2025 will be in January. We'll be hitting it hard as of January 9th. So as I said, next 6 weeks, hit it hard. And then we're going to come back and we're going to be strong in January. Also, we have a whole bunch of workshops coming up. You want to go back one? Thank you. You guys, listen, we're only doing this workshop one time this year. And then we have it on the schedule one time next year in, I think, May. So it's a salary negotiation workshop. If you have any questions about salary negotiation, or you want to know, you're like, I hate the money talk. I don't like this part, or I don't know what to do. Brenda Mariah is going to be teaching this workshop tomorrow. It's virtual. Anyone can attend, but you must register so you get the link and you get the information on how to attend. So again, we're only doing this one time this year, and we're doing it one time next year in about May. So if you want this, you better jump on the call tomorrow. So that's one. And then we're doing an in-person resume writing workshop in November. And then I have a virtual job search essentials workshop coming up as well. So all of these are free, you guys. And it's just such a great time to be able to get into these workshops because they're not always available. We're so grateful for Arizona at Work Pinal County for bringing us in and asking us to lead these workshops. And we have brought in some wonderful, wonderful speakers for these events that are exceptional. Rainey, we will drop the link on how to register for any of these events right now. There you go, I'll drop it. So you can go onto that website. The top part of that site is our big events like this one. And then if you scroll down a little bit, you can see the career readiness workshops, and you can register for any of them right there. All right. Okay, so also I just want to say thank you to our volunteers. If you have any interest in volunteering, I am telling you, either our organization or another organization would love to have you. And it's a great way to network as you're job searching, but also provide your expertise to a nonprofit that really, really needs you. And so we would love to have you. We are specifically looking for someone that might be able to help with some of our social media content. So if you are interested in figuring that out, we would love to talk to you about that. So working with us to create the schedule for content and posting, and that's one area we're really looking for right now. All right, thank you to our volunteers that are already helping. We have just such a great group of people that help and support this program. So at the next event in December, we're going to be announcing a brand new program. And I'm so excited. We have been dreaming about this for years. And it is a digital career portal. So it will take you from, oh my gosh, I'm laid off, now what? Day one through the job search process, and you go at your pace. And so we're super excited about this. People have been asking us for this over and over and over and over again. There are some things out in the market like it, but not specific to what we have been coming up with. So we've reached out to some of the experts around resume, LinkedIn, interviewing, salary negotiation, and so on. And we're just about ready to launch. We will be launching this at the December event. So we're working overtime trying to get all the videos done and get everything done on this, but it will be super helpful to anyone that's trying to land a job and needs some guidance, needs a process, and it's going to be a wonderful program. I'm so excited, you guys. So come back for that or watch our emails. That will be coming out. Thank you, thank you, thank you to anyone who has ever given to Career Connectors. We are so grateful for you. So if you haven't, of course, you know, we're coming up to the end of the year. You're going to see a couple donation drives. If you decide you'd like to give, we so appreciate that. We also understand you're in a hard place right now. So we love when people land a great job and then they come back and donate to Career Connectors to serve the people behind them. So thank you so much for that. And in that, I am done. I just want to say thank you for being here today. We appreciate the time and the engagement on the chat. And we're going to move over into the breakout sessions. I'm going to throw it to Bree so she can walk you through that. And I'm just praying for you guys that you land into the career of your dreams. Thank you for being here today. Bree, it's your turn.
Hello. Okay, so in just a moment, I'm going to open up the breakout rooms. You'll see them come up in your toolbar. For whichever ones you want to join, you're going to hover over the room and you'll click join. And the same way that you joined is the same way you can switch to another room or come back to this main room. So I'm opening up them right now. If anyone needs help getting into a room, just let us know in the chat and we can move you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bree. All right, so you guys, again, the breakout room icon is on the bottom of your screen. You click that icon, and some of you on your phone, it might be a drop down that says more, but you can click on your breakout room icon and open it up, and you will see a list of people, rooms that you can join. And there's resume writers, our speakers are in there. We have Amanda, Krista, and Donna as our resume writers. And so they're available in that room. Great, we see people moving in. If you're not finding the breakout rooms, then please let us know. You can drop in the chat where you would like to go and we will help send you there. Bree is sharing on in the breakout rooms now. Okay, thank you. So if you're not sure or you can't find the breakout sessions, please let us know and we will help get you there. You can drop it in the chat or you can just unmute yourself now and talk to us. If you haven't, if you're deciding, Krista Morris has no one in her room with her right now. That's a rare thing. And she's a resume reviewer. She's amazing. So join her room. You'll be the first one in there and be able to talk to her specifically about your resume.
Jessica, can you hear me? Debbie.
Hi, Debbie. Yeah.
So are you going to be recording the event tomorrow, the salary negotiation?
Yep. It will be right on our event recordings page.
Okay.
So the link we send out today for this webinar will be the same link that will be posted on tomorrow.
Okay, cool. And then do you have a list of employers for the job fair thing next week yet? I didn't see a link to it.
We do, and we sent it out yesterday. If you are on our email list, I think it was yesterday. Bree, was that yesterday or the day before?
I think it was the day before.
Okay, so it's and then let me see if we have it on our website yet. We don't have it listed on. We don't have it on the website yet, but and then I think we should be getting it listed on our website. Do you know, Bree, if those are going to be listed on our website?
Yes, they will.
Okay, so on the website, I would say in the next day or so, our marketing firm just hasn't updated it yet. All of them will be listed there too.
Cool. I got the email yesterday and I didn't notice that it was all in there. So I will check that out.
Yeah, and there was one, it was a press release. So specifically look for the one that was a press release and it listed it in that one.
Gotcha.
And then on Monday, our email, our regular email that goes out every Monday, it will also be listed in there.
Okay.
Yep.
So I just got done with a contract position at Intel.
Okay,
Didn't you used to work at Intel?
I did. I was there for 10 years.
I didn't realize, well, I did realize how big it was. Were you in a specific department or?
So I was there from 1997 to 2007, and I was in materials and Intel University, and then SMGHR.
Okay, I was in FPTD.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then actually, we have a lot of volunteers that come from Intel as part of the programs as they're leaving. They take early retirement, and then they've helped us. So I get a lot of Intel people. It's really awesome.
Yeah, Karen Schaffstall, I think her handle on here was KSS, is one of the
okay.
admins I met, and she's finally got her LinkedIn profile going and attended today.
Oh, yay. That's awesome.
All right, thank you very much for your events, always.
Good to
And
see you, Debbie.
good to see you too, Jessica. Talk to you later. Thanks.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Jessica. This is Yolanda.
Hi, Yolanda.
Well, I have to drop off, but I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm still hoping for that full-time job, not just seasonal jobs I've been finding.
Yeah. Well, hang in there. I'm telling you, the next 6 weeks matter. So,
Okay.
I've seen it happen so many times, and lots of people give up, and those that don't often are the ones that land these great opportunities.
Yeah, so I'm using ChatGPT more often to help with my resume and cover letters. So
Oh, that's awesome. Well, very
Yeah.
well. Well, good to see you, Yolanda.
yeah, both take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bree, too, as well.
Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
bye.
If you are still looking for a breakout room and you can't find it, can't find the icon, can't figure out how to get into the breakout room, or it's not working for you right, just drop it in the chat or unmute and let us know where you want to go. Do you want to talk to a resume writer, LinkedIn coach? Do you want to talk to our finance coach? Do you want to go into the Best Companies AZ room? Where would you like to go? And then we will help get you there. I see that Amanda has a couple people in her room, but she's also wonderful at LinkedIn. And so if you have some additional questions about LinkedIn, feel free to go jump into her room.
Can we maybe go to a couple different rooms, or do we just have enough time for one?
Yeah, you can jump around. You can go to one, stay there for a little bit, leave, come back, go to another one. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.